I still don't feel great. That episode hit me harder than a lot of
Yeah.
the previous ones did.
The Joel one, I was like...
I was mostly fine.
Well, it was like I knew it was coming, though. And so it was like, when Joel died, I really felt it coming. And so that was really bad. And then also I had eaten so much Easter food. And then like I was on my way to having a doctor's appointment that week. And then the following day, because I had eaten so much Easter food, I over-caffeinated myself trying to like get out of the sluggishness. And I thought I was fully having a heart attack the next day. So it's been a couple weeks for both of us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching The Last of Us, Season 2, Episodes 5.
Feel Her Love is what Wikipedia says.
I'm having a hard time. I still enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with it. And it is a good show, and this was a good episode, but Jackson did a number on me.
You were like, it's so idyllic and beautiful.
I wasn't having these issues with season 1 because we were so much in the thick of it. Like, we were still so much in the thick of the zombie apocalypse of it all.
It was also so much more of like an adventure story.
Yeah, the Raiders I can wrap my mind around. This like concentrated, cultish, like military. I don't know. I'm having a really hard time with it.
I agree, because it's also like it's two things I hate fighting each other, and I'm very.
It just doesn't need to be like this.
Well, I'm very that Jason Mantzoukas where it's like bite each other's dicks off. Like I'm like, yeah, both of you, like whatever, it's totally fine.
Because they even said we watched the like blurb at the end where they talk about the episode, and I don't remember which one. It was like Neil Druckmann, who's the creator, and then there was like the director, the cinematographer, like the stunt coordinator.
Craig Mazin.
They were all like giving really great, valuable insight.
Yeah.
And one of them was talking about the scars, the Seraphites, and how like we've seen their work before.
Yeah.
Like with the hanged, disemboweled people, but we like witnessed the like quote unquote ceremony. And he was like, they're celebrating violence.
Yeah.
And that really hit me. Because I was like nauseated watching that whole thing bad. Because it's like first of all, I mean, there's the elements and then there's this like infection. Why are we fighting each other like this?
100%.
In such gross, unnecessary ways.
Well, and it's like,
and he's right, like the ritual of it, like the celebration of it, it really churned my stomach.
They're making such a ceremony of the disembowelment.
And the feel her love. Oh, it's really so gross.
And also, because while we were watching it too, I was like, this is a very male-led
matriarchy.
But like with a female icon, like religious icon, which I mean, I guess Catholicism kind of, because the Virgin Mary, but it's like, it's feel her love. And it's like this female prophet and all female pronouns, but like, we've really only seen male leaders of the Seraphites, and I wonder if that is like part of the juxtaposition of the whole thing, why they're so into the violence. Like, have these men perhaps perverted the actual teachings of this female prophet? You know what I mean?
You just go into the Da Vinci Code.
I mean, I'm not claiming that there's a descendant out there. I'm just saying that's what it kind of feels like for me. Because you're right, they do seem to be taking like joy and pleasure out of the violence in the situations.
But and the same with like the wolves. It's like they're on a mission to accomplish something, and I don't think that they're accomplishing anything.
Yeah. Like,
what happens when one of them vanquishes the other? Like, what the wolves are.
So that's the other thing too, is because there do seem to be like an amount of Seraphites, like an insignificant or not insignificant amount of Seraphites, but like I feel like there's more wolves. So like, why aren't they? And they have guns. Mm-hmm. And like the potential to probably build a bomb. Why are they not like? Part of me feels like probably like, you know, especially given what we know about who Joel killed in the hospital, it's like, I don't think the best and brightest minds have made it through this apocalypse. So it's like, I do feel like we're working with many, definitely two, but like many groups of people who are like a few apples short of a barrel, kind of. And I'm like, because we open the episode with Alana Ubach again. Her name is Hanrahan, I think. Yeah. And she is talking to Elise Park, who basically is explaining how the last mission went wrong and how she had to like kill some of their soldiers. And
in particular, one of their best, Leon.
And it turns out that they were like investigating the basement levels, like the parking garage, I presume, of the hospital. There's a dog licking my leg right now. Gingy, I know, you're so sweet. And so, but basically what happened is they got down there, and then Leon essentially called back up and was like, you have to lock us in. It's spores and they're in the air. And as Hanrahan is leaving, she says, I'm sorry about your son. Because we were thinking like lover or husband or something.
I hadn't even gotten that far because I was kind of doing that thing where I was just assuming I had forgotten.
Sure.
Like I assumed I had done something wrong and wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to place what they were talking about it like it was something I had already seen.
Yeah, no.
And so when they like hit that reveal, I was like, oh, and it was like I didn't see it coming, and it was a real gut punch.
So yeah, Elise had to basically trap her son and a few others in the basement because they were already infected because it's in the air, which is something that Will has said is in the video games from the beginning, that there are spores like all the time. I prefer that they waited to do that, to do this. I also like the notion, along with the Stalkers, which we get back in this episode, that this is like an evolution of it's like the cordyceps have gone as far as they can with the way that they have been. But in order to get everybody, they have to evolve. I like that.
I was thinking of it more like I buy that and I'm fine with that, but I was thinking of it more like a mothership or something. Like I was thinking this was just a more developed, concentrated hive, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. But I think there was an interesting point. Didn't they mention something about Isaac being AWOL or not knowing where Isaac was?
She basically just said, I thought Isaac would... Elise was like, I thought Isaac was going to be here to like basically kill me for this or whatever. And she was like, Isaac's busy, like doing his own thing.
And she was like, you did us. We owe you a debt. It was a real opener. And then we go to Ellie and Dina.
Yep. Making a plan. Ellie didn't graduate 8th grade. Let's be honest. And Dina presumably had all of the school, at least through high school. And so she is like triangulating based on what she's hearing on the walkie that they stole, where all of the wolves have like positions in Seattle.
I liked their conversations too. So we've watched a lot of things this weekend, and so I'm like things are blurring a little bit, but we watched like You season 5 and like Desperate Housewives, and an issue that I have with so many shows, this included, very much the show included, is I feel like people are never scared enough. They're never concerned enough. And I really like the way that like the girls were talking about the wolves, how they just use the walkie-talkies, and when she's like, they don't shut up. And it's like, because the Scars don't use technology, they're like, he called them like Luddites.
Luddites, yeah.
And she even says like, have you heard about the Amish? Like, and that's the stuff that I love. I love the lore of this show. I love the world building of this show.
Because it's the phrasing for me, because there's that one thing that pops up on Tumblr every now and again where it's like, Julius Caesar, who died over 70 years ago, invented this salad. And people are like, technically this is correct, but it like is infuriating. So when she's like, well, the Amish were around in 2003. And I'm like, the Amish have been around forever. Like the whole time. But it just was like, they were around then.
But they basically were talking about how the wolves had like a perimeter set up, but mysteriously there was like this section that they just aren't.
Yeah, with a long building.
That would make me more scared than either of those girls were. Like,
it would at least also.
And there's just so many points where I'm like, can I go back home?
No, for sure. Okay, so two things. The first thing is like, I would at the very least go on the top of that building. They don't even try to get onto the roof of that building, and I'm like, why are you going inside where there's nooks and crannies all the fuck over the place? And then the other thing too is, okay, so I still want Ellie to do what she wants to do. You know what I mean? I want her to complete this revenge she's going on. But I am with you, where I'm like, So they get into this building, the long building that's basically dark of wolves, and it is overrun with stalkers. And they get to a point where Ellie, she does man up, and she is.
You said like 3 different times this episode. You're like, she's got such dad energy.
She is acting like a dad. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. So she's like, okay, Dina, you go over there into that cage and I'll lead them to me. They can't infect me. So like, I'll lead them to me and you'll be safe in that cage and we'll kill them. Well, it turns out there's like 40 of them and it's fucking crazy.
The stalkers were so fucking scary.
Okay. I don't like the way they make noise. I said that a bunch out there too. Because it is very like the bear from Annihilation. Mm-hmm. It's really because they sound like
it's more
like a dingo.
Yes, or like a hyena.
Yeah,
it's more uncanny than because like at this point,
it's such a human mimicry that it's like ugh,
and it almost uncanny. Like it almost sounds English or like language.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's like gurgly enough. Yeah. And
they're just also going like, ah!
Yeah. And like culturally, we're just so indoctrinated with zombies that like, they're like old friends. Yeah. Like zombie stuff doesn't really faze me.
But this is
this was different enough that I like it felt perverted in like this like really uncomfortable way. And we'll get to it. I'm not trying to jump ahead, but the same with like whatever that's called where the spores were. That was disgusting. So disgusting. In a way that like I've not encountered. And it's like I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I've seen Stranger Things. Like I've seen lots of like
because I said icky,
it's like gooey.
I said it's like Barb in the Upside Down, and you were like, it's worse. It's worse.
And I don't know if it's like it was the colors. There was too much.
Too many colors.
Too many colors. I'll say it because usually it's all red and or then black.
So
or
the DP who we've seen her a lot on the After Thing. Her name is Ksenia Soretta. She was like the colors were so beautiful. And we're down there, and I was like, you're crazy.
I like almost couldn't look at it.
Yeah, it was
I don't really have that sort of reaction.
Yeah.
To these types of things.
So we've name dropped Annihilation a handful of times, and one of the things in Annihilation that I actually find extremely beautiful is when the plant is coming out of Tessa Thompson. It's like because she's accepted her fate, but it's like that none of these people down here accepted this. They didn't want this to happen. And one of them is Leon. We do see Leon because there's like an L Park on one of the name tags. I mean, it's just really, it's revolting. And they can like sense Ellie down there. And so they're like puffing the spores. But it's because they can sense a person.
Well, and the cinematographer,
you do look kind of
white,
gray. Yeah.
I don't feel good. I haven't eaten.
You should eat.
I was gonna go to Wawa on my way home.
Oh, maybe not now.
I just passed out. No, because I'm not normally this squeamish, but like the DP or whatever, the word she used was texture. Yeah, there was so much texture, and again,
it's like mushrooms on the side of a tree. Like
it's something that I like, that I am constantly praising the show for, and it's why I'm able to watch it. Is that it does take these moments to really revel in what's happening and celebrate things like beauty. Because in the beginning, when Dina was still triangulating, and Ellie goes exploring, she figured out how to turn the lights on. There was chandeliers. There was like a shot in the auditorium where it had like the like painting on the ceiling
in the dome.
Hold on. Okay. And the camera was just like this is very cinematic. Yeah. With the siege on Jackson Hole, I compared it to on its best days Game of Thrones. Yeah. I mean,
Game of Thrones best days. Yeah, that was like a Tuesday for this show. So they're getting basically attacked by all of the stalkers.
And I think that that's also an element that is sort of born from the video game-ness, is because having not played a ton of video games, I do know a large part of it of video games is exploring. Yeah. Is sort of having a first
person narrative or point of view,
and like going in and like sort of taking in these environments.
Yeah, well, because you have to look out for something that's glimmering, because that's something that you need.
And it's something that they translate really well. Like when you're jumping mediums like theater to television or like book to movie or whatever, it can be hard, and this has made the jump from video game to cinema extremely well.
I think so too.
And just like even the juxtaposition of the nature, there's so much nature in Seattle. It's so green that like part of it I find disarming. And then like when they stumbled upon the like carnage from the Feel Her Love and like Fuck Her Love or whatever that was.
Feel this bitch.
Yeah. And it like it truly kind of shocks you. And it's like, I mean, I've seen tons of violence in movies and sex on TV, you know, that kind of thing. But it's like in this show, there's something about it that it feels very visceral. It feels...
I think it's because there is something really disarming about all of the like quiet interpersonal scenes, because it's like that opening scene with Hanrahan and Elise Park was like very quiet and even, and Elise was clearly emotional, but it wasn't, nobody was like, and then what happened? You know, it was like it's a very even.
You can't handle the truth.
It's a very even keeled show until it's not. And I think that's what makes these like moments of action or like suspense hit harder.
Or even, like I said, just the real sort of like literally and metaphorically visceral. Yeah. Like the viscera of everything.
Yeah.
But back to the stalkers.
So they basically, they're getting overrun by the stalkers. Ellie has got like 3 or 4 of them on her. I think one of them has to have bitten her. and then they're doing as well as they can, but then Jesse is there and he's shooting some of them. He's gonna die for sure in the finale.
No,
he's gonna die for sure.
I have such a crush on him.
He's so cute. What's his name? Young Mazzino. Yeah, he's very cute.
So like when he showed up, I was very swoon.
Yeah. So he gets them out,
and I like that. I like how mad he was at her.
So he got them out, and then they were going into this like park area, but the wolves refuse to follow them, and that's another where like you're not fucking scared enough
of anything that is happening.
And so Ellie is like,
did he say Tommy is also
Tommy's there also. Yeah. He and Tommy came after them. Ellie's like, I can't believe they sent you, and he goes, they didn't send us, we followed you. The thing is like Tommy like basically gave Ellie his blessing. He was like, sure, go ahead. So, like, I do and don't get why Jesse is so angry, because obviously he still has feelings for Dina, but, like...
Well, they said something interesting in the after show thing that we watched where he was like, Ellie challenges his perspective.
Oh, okay.
Of, like, his role as a man and her role, and, like, I think he doesn't know what to do with her.
Sure. But then Bella was like, they had such like a bro friendship before, and now it's like kind of fractured. So it's going to be an interesting situation going forward until Jesse inevitably dies. I'm calling it now. I don't think he's going to make it. So that's where they meet up with the Seraphites, and we watch them disembowel the wolf, and then Dina gets shot in the leg with an arrow, and Ellie tells Jesse to take her back to the theater, and she'll meet them there. And then as she's running away and escaping, she sees a sign, like the hospital sign in the distance, and so she goes that direction, where we cut to Nora, who apparently is helping to doctor.
But part of me expected it to be more, like, longer and more drawn out, and then another part of me was sort of relieved, where I'm like, oh, okay, let's just go ahead.
So
cut to the chase. I was anticipating Nora being more...
regretful.
Yeah, because she seemed only half in. I liked it. I mean, I liked what they did, but I was a little surprised when she was, and I'd do it again too. Yeah.
I think what was her name? Mel. I think she's gonna be the most upset about it. Regardless, she finds Nora in one of the hospital rooms, and she's like confronting her, and then Nora says, "Pocket hospital liquid," and dumps it all over her. And goes running. Actually really amazing. She's screaming intruder.
Hoofing.
Really fast. Really fast. I mean,
hoofing it.
Have you seen her gams? She's got great gams. So Ellie's chasing, and she's like, open fire on her. And they do, but they are basically stormtroopers, so they obviously miss. And Nora gets herself stuck down kind of a dead end where it's like blocked up on one side and the only other thing is like the elevator. So she goes through the elevator, jumps on top.
I like that they were like, they don't really know what to do with those 2 levels because they obviously need the hospital.
Yeah.
And they don't really know what to do with the spores, so they're just gonna ignore it.
Yeah,
just sort of like, and I mean, relatable.
Yeah. You don't want to like send something, do something. I don't know, just like pour a bunch of bleach down the elevator. I don't, please don't nobody tell me bleach doesn't kill fungus. I will kill you dead. So she jumps on top of the elevator shaft and it like bounces her down. And then I actually kind of missed, did Ellie jump on top of that as well? And it went all the rest of the way down?
No, they just went down a floor.
Down a floor.
Yeah, because she like went out and we didn't see Ellie do it, but I think it's assumed.
And so it was only 1 floor down. Mm-hmm. That's a problem.
Well, no, she like went down and it was like B1. There was like B1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So they made it down.
They were at least on 2. Okay. I think there was still a 3rd floor.
A 3rd floor.
That is
what's down there?
Devil's anus.
Jesus Christ. So basically Ellie is looking all around and that's when we see Leon and the other couple people, which in the after show they said some of them might have been down there for decades. Yeah,
inhaling oxygen and exhaling spores.
Yucky.
I think it is good that their brains died and that they're just.
I mean, they're animated though.
They also did not say that.
Yeah.
That's a bit of lore.
You're like,
I'm retconning.
Well, woof, their brains are dead.
And they're just
up.
Drones.
There was another thing too that somebody said they basically took some of the earliest cordyceps victims were like in this hospital. That's where they were at the beginning. I think it was Elise at the beginning of the episode. So they're down there. Ellie's looking around. She sees all the people.
So then kind of what we were both saying about it being evolutionary and also sort of like the Mecca. Like this is where it's like.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't think it was some of the first ever, but certainly some of the first in Seattle were there. And so as she's walking around, she comes back upon Nora, who's like, you fool, you've killed us both. And Ellie was like, doubt it. And she keeps trying to ask where Abby is, and she refuses to tell. And then we get what we assume is going to be a bomb dropped, which is Nora tells her, she's like, oh, you're the girl who's immune. Don't you know what Joel did? And Ellie says, yes, I do know what Joel did. And she's like, I just don't care. And like, where's Abby? Where's Abby? And she still won't tell her. And then she beats her legs with a pipe. I like it.
I thought you were against vengeance.
Okay.
I thought you were against this.
I'm not. I think Ellie deserves her vengeance. Who said it in this episode? Somebody said nobody deserves what happened to him.
Nora.
It was Nora. And so I'm like, or like you didn't deserve to see it or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you can recognize the wrongness of what Abby did, but you're unwilling to have Abby be punished in any way for it that you are responsible for. So I still think that Ellie deserves her vengeance. Also, I think it's extremely like sick and poetic that she refused to kill Nora. That she just was beating her and just letting her turn. Like that is I'm tough business.
And not in a way where I think I'm like smarter than the show or anything, but it's like I'm just sort of like, but at what cost? Yeah. I mean, if you lose everybody and everything on your quest for vengeance, like, and that's where I'm just like more at my radical acceptance, where I would much rather be trying to rebuild from the ashes. Because again, there's still so much beauty in the world.
No, 100%.
And yet we don't need to be doing this, and it's just bumming me out, especially in this climate.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I totally agree that like in general, it would be a lot smarter if Ellie and Dina and Jesse and Tommy just went home. You know, it's like, obviously you want to kill Abby, but obviously Abby is also the final boss, and we're going to get through the rest of them before we get to her. And so.
And I will say, in Abby's defense, because I feel like there's a lot of focus on, because it was her father, and I'm not overlooking the whole one doctor in the world who could maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't kidding when I was like, Joel took on the trolley problem head first.
Yeah, but again, for me, I'm like, how was there not a first option besides take Ellie's brain out?
I don't know. And I mean, that's where we get to this is a TV show.
Of course, yes. I mean, but that's my thing is I'm like, he didn't want essentially his daughter's brain taken out, so he killed all these people.
And it's interesting because...
And then Abby was like, I'm going to kill you harder.
Ellie kind of knew.
Well...
Like, she kind of knew that it...
She kind of knew he was lying, but she didn't actually know until whatever happens in next week's episode.
Well, I meant that she kind of knew that when she was, like, voluntarily doing this, she kind of knew that
I don't think so.
That I think she knew it was an option.
Maybe an option.
I think they might have misled her.
But I don't think Marlene was like, they're going to take your brain out.
Because that's something that I do find interesting is I think that even if they had, Ellie would have sacrificed herself at that point. But I think once what's done was done, this Ellie is not feeling that.
No, definitely not.
Gracious.
And so that's the thing for me, which I keep saying, I feel like I've said it before, but it's like for me, Joel killing that. Because Abby seems, obviously they all die, everybody in that building died, but it's like Abby seems very stuck on just her dad, like rightfully so for the most part. But my issue is that Joel killed him with one gunshot to the head, and then she beat him for hours.
Were they and maybe I'm asking questions.
That's not a one-to-one for
maybe
me.
I'm asking questions that we're not meant to know yet, but were they when did their wolfness happen?
After that.
Okay. Because I was about to be like, you're really losing the high ground that you're like purporting to have by being locked in this like blood feud with the Seraphites. Like, stop acting like you're somehow morally superior.
So basically, it's like whenever Joel killed all those people in the hospital, that was like the rest of the Fireflies. And so whoever was left... Right,
that scene from the very first scene.
Whoever was left went and absorbed into the wolves.
Okay.
So they didn't turn into the wolves already existed in Seattle. They just like migrated up there and did that. So that's my thing, is that like Abby's response was disproportionate to what happened to her dad. He died so fast. It took Joel hours.
I was almost like, imagine caring about what happened to your dad. I'm kidding.
No, so basically as Ellie then is beating Nora with the steel pipe, she passes out maybe? I'm not sure how we shifted into, if it was just a memory or whatever. Something happened. She's shifting into a memory of Joel.
A dream, of a flashback, or...
I think it's a flashback. And so I think next week is going to be emotionally a doozy, and it's going to encompass when Ellie found out what Joel did. So, all right. Can't wait for my husband to tell me I'm missing the point of this TV show again.
Oh my God. Well, the comments will cover what he doesn't.
I just like, okay. I agree that everybody should have I agree that everybody should have their revenge. The thing is that like I feel like Abby didn't think this was gonna come back on her. You know what I mean? And I'm just like it just definitely is. And again, it's the severity of how she killed Joel compared to how Joel killed her father that is so uneven. And now Ellie is gonna kill her so hard and slow and mean, and I'm just like...
I mean, we will see.
Yeah, so...
I don't purport to know a thing.
I mean, I assume. I don't know either, but yeah, so we'll see. See you next week. Bye!